Hello and welcome to this tutorial on mixing paints. We're going to mix up some watercolor paints because inside these wonderful, lovely paints that we have, blue, blue, yellow, yellow, orange, red, we don't have any green, we don't have any brown. So let's see, how are we going to do this? First, we need to make a green. And to make a green, I'm going to add some yellow. Let me get some of this lemon yellow. And what I like to do is keep the treasure down at the bottom. So I'm going to dip in and get a little bit of treasure and put some yellow in here. Now, something that I am going to do is add more yellow than blue. I'm just going to add blue a little teeny tiny dash at a time. Here's how I'm going to do that. I'm going to find my blue. What's the difference between these two blues? I don't know. I really don't, but we use both of these blues. One is Prussian blue and the other is a different kind of blue, and I really can't tell them apart still. Anyway, I'm going to take this blue, the one that looks like a blue, and I'm going to dip down, get most of the paint off to the sides, and I'm going to add this to a place in here that doesn't have any paint. Why am I going to do that? I just want to add a little teeny tiny bit of blue here so I can leave this brush untouched by both of these. And the one that was using yellow, I'm going to use as my mixing brush. I'm going to mix these things together and see what I come up with. It looks like it's still a little bit too yellow, but it's getting more green. So now I'm going to find another spot here where there was no paint, and I'm gonna mix these in here. Now what's gonna happen? It's gonna get more and more green. Let's get all this water away from here. Since this brush has not touched this mixed paint yet, I can feel free to dip it back into the blue and get a little bit more blue. And again, add a little bit of blue into a space here where there's not much, where there's no paint. That way I still have that blue brush. Now let's see. Okay, getting more green. I could do even a little bit of test here on the paper. It looks a little bit yellowy green to me. It looks like I probably even still want some more blue. So I'm going to get more blue in there. And I'm going to mix that blue in. Now this looks even better. This looks more like that type of green I'm going for. But even so, I can add more blue in here to make it darker. A little blue is going to go a long way. So now this looks like a more avocado-y, yellowy green. This looks just right for what it is that I'm trying to do. I'm going to use my brush and try to get this paint back in here, because what I want to do is I want to take this green and make brown. I'm going to need to add some orange for a lighter brown, or some red for a nice darker brown. And now I have run out of brushes. I'm only using these two for now, so I'm going to rinse off the blue from this brush really well. The better I rinse off the blue from this brush, the happier I will be, because I won't be mixing my blue into my red and making a purple. And I do not want a purple. I want these colors to be as pure as possible. So I'm going to dip down into this red. Just put one little drop in there for starters. And since this brush already has the green on it, I'm just going to use this as my mixing brush. What's going to happen when I mix this red droplet in there? Ooh, it's getting a little bit darker. It's getting a little bit more brown. That's great. So now I'm going to add into this blank space some more red. See what happens. Ooh, yes. Still more brown. All right, now let's see. I'm going to add 2 more drops of that red in there. And we take the red and the green, or really, if we look at it from the beginning, this was a blue and yellow, and then red, getting more brown. kind of a dark, mushy green. Might actually want to add some more blue into this. It looks just a little bit too light. But again, the nice thing about having it be light is that you can always do multiple shades. You can start light and then add it getting darker and darker. And now you can see that this is starting to get this muddy browny color. You can see it's quite a bit different from up here where we had a yellowy green, a darker green, and now this browny green. And let me see if I'm absolutely going to destroy this experiment by seeing if I can drop in. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to grab my dropper, and I will use it to come bloop, grab a little bit of that and drop it. If you have like a little stevia bottle or anything like that, these things are pretty awesome for watercolor. I'm just going to go ahead and use this to drop a little bit of blue in here. Oop. That's cool. Okay. So a little bit of blue. I'm even going to put a little bit more red too. What is going to happen when I get this going? This should give me a nicer, darker, richer brown. Oh, give me a nice, thick and rich, dark green, maybe a little bit too much blue. Let's add a little bit more red here. All right. There we go. That's more what we're looking for here. And once again, even add a couple more red drops here. All right. Now this is looking good. This is exactly, I think. All right. And I could even add in a little bit of yellow at this point. I'm going to add in a little bit more blue, bloop, a couple drops. Now I'm going to actually take a little bit of this golden yellow and add some of this golden yellow in to see what kind of brown we're going to get if I take a little bit of this. Bloop, bloop. Let's see what we get here. All right, got the blue and the yellow. You know that makes green, might need a little bit more red. We're just gonna experiment with this. Looks like it's making a very greeny green, and I really do want this nice dark brown, so I'm gonna add a little bit more of that red into it. Right there. And let's see what we get here. All right. So, yeah, makes this rich, greenish brown, and yeah, it does make this nice dark green. If we had some crimson red, which I actually have fire engine red because we ran out of crimson red. If we had that crimson red, I bet we could get some more of that. What we could do actually is add a little bit of orange in here and just make this nice and dark. I'm gonna add a little bit more red, and then I'm gonna take that dropper and I'm gonna add some orange and see what happens when we add this vermilion. Let's add one drop and see how it turns out. I'm gonna come down here. You can come down there with the brush, or I've got this little dropper, and I'm just gonna add 2 drops, see how that turns out. How's that gonna look? Let's mix this up and see what we get. All right, okay, well, this is like a nice reddish brown because we did add a whole bunch of red, but let's take a peek. Oh yeah, that orange really added so much. I've got this nice brown. And again, if you want it to get dark, start with it light and then move to the darkness.